So Howard the Duck. You can tell this is where James Gunn developed his sense of humor from. This movie right here. So Howard the Duck was featured in Guardians of the Galaxy. He had a couple cameos in there. That version of him, the CGI version, it looks terrible to me. Uh, Here, Howard the Duck looks fantastic to me in this movie. However, this movie it's it's bad and good. It's so bad that it's good. Howard the Duck looks fantastic. This movie's got a couple of prominent people in it. It's got several big names associated with it. George Lucas for one. Uh, Tim Robbins is in here. Lee Thompson, I believe her name is, from Back to the Future, the one who tried to sleep with her son who came back from the future, Marty McFly. She plays in some weird roles. This movie here, it's PG, but it's not really PG. It's more of a rated R. Uh, not so. It's just this is where James gets his weird, perverse sense of humor from. No wonder why he wanted to do Guardians of the Galaxy. So, in case you don't know, Howard the Duck was the sidekick to Silver Surfer. Uh, uh, we start off in a very lived-in world, like it feels very real because you got Howard. He's got his apartment. He's got pictures of his duck family, his mom and dad. Every channel's got duck people on it, and the commercials, TV shows, news. Uh, Howard the Duck. He After a few minutes of being in his apartment, he gets beamed out across space. Not sure how he survived that, but when he lands on Earth, just get a bunch of chaotic scenes of him running into people who have all different kinds of reactions. Uh, they're all pretty pretty poorly portrayed, poorly written. You got these uh, criminals, you got bikers, you got muggers, just a bunch of people that react differently. Some of them fear him, some of them just behave like he's normal. Uh, it makes no sense. You have Lee Thompson who's playing in a band. She's got this 80s rock band. Kind of comes off like a Dazzler here. Uh, Dazzler, that's another Marvel character. But actually, that might have been interesting if they actually just threw Dazzler in here. But Lee Thompson, she gets in some crap in an alleyway. Some dudes try to mess with her, and Howard steps up with. And this movie's full of bad duck puns. Like, there's so many duck puns. Uh, but, and it's full of very poor fight scenes because Howard tries to fight these two dudes, and him and Lee Thompson's character, I can't remember her name, but she takes him in. She takes him back to her apartment and gives him a place to stay because he's got nowhere to go. She feels bad for him. He's just standing there in the rain. Uh, so she goes through his wallet and there's all kinds of duck cards in there and duck stuff. And there's, you know, duck money. It's it's a very lived in duck universe, duck world that he comes from. They back that up pretty well. But Lee Thompson kind of gets weird here because she toys with him like sensually, like she wants to have sex with him or something. He's a duck. Yeah, he's a perverse duck. I forgot to mention early into the film, before Howard's beamed off to Earth, he looks at Play Duck magazine. It's got a naked duck in there. When he's getting beamed out too, you see duck boobs, nipples, and everything. This naked duck woman in her bathtub. So very weird. Got that James Gunn sense of humor that got him banned from Twitter. Uh, so back at the apartment, she's acting like she wants to sleep with him, and he calls her things like honey and stuff, and he acts like that very like sexist type male or whatever you want to call it. But when she tries to sleep with him, he freaks out. He's like trying to back out of it or whatever, and then she's like, "I'm just playing with you." It's very weird. It's very weird to watch it unfold, and people walk in on them in this situation where she's just like in her panties and tank top, and it looks bad for it. But so first they try to go to Tim Robbins, his character, to help figure out. Tim Robbins just wants to make money off me. He does some like tries to communicate with him in some Donald the Duck voice, like quack 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 quack. But it's very it's just it makes no sense because after Tim Robbins turns out to not be who Lee Thompson said he was, where he could actually help Howard. Howard gets mad at Lee Thompson's character and just rants and runs off, and then he goes and this black woman treats him like a normal person. He's supposed to be disguised, I guess. He's got sunglasses and a hat on, and apparently that allows him to pass for human, I guess, because he freaks out some other people with his appearance, and then some people think he's just a child in a costume, and then some people just treat him like he's a normal person. So Howard gets a job at this bathhouse, and it's like people having sex there, and Howard decides to quit the job the very next scene, and he ends up going back to Lee Thompson's apartment, and then everybody shows up. Tim Robbins shows up with I can't remember that actor's name, but he's from Beetlejuice. Anyways, they tell Howard that they can probably get him back to his planet, but when they go there and try to do it, it does not work out. They were doing an experiment, and they accidentally beamed him to Earth, and they were going to try to get him back to his planet, but trying to do the thing again brought something else that possessed. Hang on, I gotta look up that actor's name real fast so I can. Jeffrey Jones, yeah, Jeffrey Jones. So this experiment goes wrong, and Jeffrey Jones, his character, gets possessed with this demon from some other world, and they let him drive even though he's obviously in pain and going through some kind of weird transition. He starts to look really horrible, and he's talking like a psychopath. And they go to this diner, and they have this key card that they need to redo the experiment or whatever, and some like trucker guys, some local trucker guys or whatever, come over there trying to pick on them, and then they start a fight with Howard. It gets really rational in here because they chase Howard around through the diner. At first, it's just these guys, and they're running into pies. They're literally running into the pies, like just that's why. Why? Anyways, the whole diner ends up turning on Howard for some reason, except for like the one waitress. And she's like, "Oh no, it's fine. This type of stuff happens all the time." Uh, and then Lee Thompson's character convinces Jeffrey Jones' character to help Howard because he's got the key card and he's his only way. So Jeffrey Jones's character, he gets up and he hits like one of the people with lightning and twirls this meat cleaver around, and things unfold, and then he runs off with like Lee Thompson's character. And Howard teams up with Tim Robbins, who's in the back of the police car, and they take this biplane or whatever. This really drug out scene of them flying a plane. Yeah, It's like the damn pod race scene from episode one. It's just it goes on way too long. But so Jeffrey Jones's character ties down Lee Thompson's character. He's planning to use her body as a vessel. And Howard and Tim got to show up. They save the day. When they think that they've gotten the demon out of Jones's body or whatever, they just released it out where it doesn't need a body, and he has to have a big battle with this demon thing, and it's really all silly. Most of the movie is terribly written. It's really strange how this came about. But Howard the Duck, he looks fantastic, and it's just it's really bad, but it's like hilarious too. Uh, but the Howard costume is that's some fantastic work putting that costume. But most of the dialogue sucks. The way most people respond to Howard makes no sense. Some of them, like I said, some of them fear him. Some of them hate him. Some of them just think he's a kid in a costume. Some of them just treat him like he's a normal person. There's all kinds of weird things in here. Like Lee Thompson drags him around in a trash bag and talks to him, talks to the trash bag, and that's supposed to be more normal than having him just not in a bag, just having him out walking around with her. Because I mean, she does that too. I don't know why she had to drag him around in a trash bag, but uh Howard's got this weird, like, perverse sense of humor, and I guess Lee Thompson's got that too because the way she tried to come on to him. Very strange, very strange stuff. God, it's a weird movie. It's a very weird movie, very strange. But you can tell this is where James Gunn developed this. This must have meant something real big to James Gunn because he did give that cameo to Howard the Duck in the Guardians movies, and his Twitter did have this kind of sense of humor on it before he was banned from Twitter and fired from Guardians of the Galaxy for his strange, strange jokes that are really perverse. Uh, this this movie is very strange because it's rated PG, but it's not really PG. It's more like rated R. It's got sex and all kinds of weird stuff in it. It's just wow. But it's certainly one to see. Like this is certainly one to see. I wonder if Howard the Duck will ever be Silver Surfer's sidekick in Marvel movies since Disney's getting their hands back on Fantastic Four and all that, and they've already put Howard the Duck in a cameo in Guardians. I wonder if he'll ever show up in a Silver Surfer movie uh, and be the sidekick. I don't know if they want to do that with this movie out here. The nudity, the weirdness. It's hard to rate this movie because I really like it, but it is really bad. And it's hard to ignore that. But the Howard the Duck costume is really good. And Lee Thompson, she's such an awesome actress. Uh, her performance in here was great. Was great. Howard's costume so weird. It looked great. I mean, like the original Ninja Turtles level of greatness. I think the new CGI Howard looks terrible, absolutely terrible. But this movie is bad and it's good. It's weirdly good. It's a film that's so bad it's good. So I know most people won't agree with me at all, but you know that's the beauty of opinions. They're diverse. They're very diverse. People have different feelings about it and various things. Most people rate this movie trash. Guess what? I'm gonna rate this movie an 8 out of 10, despite all the terrible acting from mostly everybody that isn't Lee Thompson and Howard. Uh, I'm gonna rate this movie an 8 out of 10. Maybe that's nostalgia talking. Uh, I don't know. I really liked Howard when I was a kid. Uh, It's amazing that I I watched this when I was a kid. Most PG movies these days won't have nudity in them. Not duck nudity. That's weird nudity. Won't have a woman trying to have sex with a duck guy. Uh, this movie's weird, man. But I gotta give it an 8 out of 10 because it's such a unique, weird disaster that's also wonderful in its own way. Uh, so like, subscribe, uh, smash the like, comment, uh, really comment. Tell me what was your favorite scene in here. What was your least favorite scene? Do you hate the movie? Do you love the movie? Um, it it is bad. It is bad. I'll give you that, but it is also good. Uh, it's just a strange, unique thing to exist, and you gotta love it for that. Um, but check out. I'm not monetized. Check out my PayPal me link if you want to support my channel. Anyways, stay awesome. Rock on.